Live. It's the Spinning Backfist MMA show, UFC 301 edition, UFC 301 recap edition. It is 1:14 East Coast time. Pay-per-view just wrapped up. They're still doing the post show on ESPN Plus as we speak. It's funny in the group chat. I saw Chael Sonnen immediately went on the post show and had it 50-45 Pantoja. It was like, yeah, I just didn't see it. Pantoja's doing what he needs to do. The bad guy, classic bad guy. But what do we think of the pay per view? I thought pretty good pay per view. 3 quick finishes to start the card. You get a classic Jose Aldo performance, and then you get a close main event.
Yeah, I thought it was great. It lived up to not the hype. I guess you wanted to say the hype, but it was pretty good considering that we didn't expect much. That being said, the main event was, I wouldn't say like a banger, but it had its moments. And we'll definitely talk about the scorecards. Chael Sonnen said he loved Steve Erceg's performance, but he had it 50-45 Pantoja. And he said if there's a 6th, 7th, or 8th round, he never knows. Pantoja or Erceg was coming on. He was really getting going.
I mean, it was this weird thing where like Erceg fought really well. It was only where he clearly showed like he belonged, like he was maybe not worthy of a title shot in just in like merit in the cage, but he clearly showed he was like deserved to be there. But I feel like the commentary had this weird, like they were acting like Erceg was about to like potentially get his hand raised. It was like, bro, no, he's not. He's like even if he lost that 5th round, he was still going to lose on the cards. I guess technically not. I guess there was 2 48-47s, but I mean, he clearly lost rounds 1 and 5, and I didn't think like all 3 judges were giving like 2, 3, 4 or 2 like all. It just wasn't going to happen. I don't think he was deserving, but when he just activates zombie mode, like he always does this weird thing in like the 4th round, and they were talking about like, oh, like his body, like he doesn't look good, like he's on the back foot for a second, and then he comes out and has a 5th round like he does, and just like puts the like just like seals the W.
The thing I would ask and how I titled this was, did Steve Erceg blow it? I think like by the scorecards, kind of, and also maybe it wasn't even Steve Erceg, even though he said after that he wasn't even thinking what his corner was thinking, but his corner saying you were down 3 rounds. I mean, maybe he doesn't go for that takedown. I don't know. I still even think there's a case for like, even if he won that 5th round, he may have lost because that 2nd round, yeah. I was going back in my score. So I asked after the 2nd round, who won that round? And I said 1-1. Lee said Pantoja felt like he won more of the minutes, which I think would have been fair. So he would have had to win 3, 4, and 5 on that.
Yeah.
And even there,
I think Erceg felt like he blew it afterwards.
Yeah.
When he was sitting there and he was like 1 round, like he definitely feels like he blew. I think with how close he came and the fact that he got the title shot after knocking out Machinell in the first place, I think, yeah, you could say he blew it.
Yeah, I would say that. Especially with those takedowns late. I was just like, what are you doing, dude? I feel like if he didn't shoot that takedown late in the 5th and he just stayed on the feet, there could have been a chance that they scored the round. There's no guarantee because Pantoja could have landed something. He could have got a takedown himself. But I feel like what was he? He was even trying to do that earlier in the fight. It was just so weird. I was like, why? I knew there was one point in the commentary where he was saying he was trying to create some scrambles where he would use his knees and whatnot, but those weren't even that successful. So like, why are you doing that?
I mean, the most success he had was clearly like on the feet striking. I mean, some of those elbows he landed were massive.
Yeah.
Like I think the big takeaway for me is, which I think we already kind of knew this coming in, but I mean, Pantoja is so fucking durable.
Yeah,
like he always does. He activates zombie mode, and he just like eventually he just never stops. And Erceg is huge. He looked huge.
Yeah,
that was the biggest thing too. I thought I knew he was big and like was probably like a little bigger, but he looked just like massive. I felt like in the cage with Pantoja, who I don't think is like is like small. I mean, obviously there's no weight class below, but I mean, Erceg was, yeah, I guess he did kind of fumble it a little
So
bit.
how did you guys score it? Round 1, Pantoja unanimous.
Yep. 2
Round 2.
Pantoja as well. I had.
Okay, I had 2 Erceg. I gave Erceg 2 and 4. But then I know they were talking about damage.
3-4.
Oh, you didn't give. Okay. You see, I was thinking about round 3. It's like, it seems like more people gave him round 2 than 3. What did they actually give him on the scorecards? Like the actual ones?
Lee, did you have those?
Yeah, I probably had the same as Bob. Like I would have had him up 2-0 and then losing 3 and 4. But I'm glad you brought up Jack. It was the wildest thing, them showing like the corners and both in Pantoja being like, "You're up 3-0." Like, no, like you got just like banking the first 3 rounds. And I was like, I don't know how you could like. I feel like in another world it could have been like 2-1.
So
yeah,
the scorecards that Erceg, obviously the ones that were 47 for Pantoja, gave Erceg 2 and 4. Now, the question there for 3 is he had the biggest moment there, but I guess he didn't win enough of the moments in the round. I guess I just think of like maybe it's the blood factor, and that's you shouldn't really factor that in. But I like that was. But then again, it was bloody, but he didn't knock him down. Like Pantoja ended up getting a takedown off of that sequence, so it's tough to give him the round there.
That was that many men sequence.
Yeah.
Blood in my eye, dog, and I can't see.
Also, just want to shout out DraftKings. Of course, we were using DraftKings tonight to bet on the fights. As always, we had the parlay. Unfortunately, it did not win. We were close, but it did not win. We'll get the parlay back. We'll get a winning parlay put together soon. But shout out DraftKings. Bet on UFC. Bet on NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs. The Derby was today. They've got horses and as well. If you go to DraftKings now, the DK Horse, their app, new customers will get a 100% deposit bonus up to $250 when they use code BACKFIST. I believe that is a thing we got going on right now. BACKFIST is the code only on DraftKings. Shout out DraftKings, the best in the biz. They've got all the props. They've got everything you need. They make it easy. The Barstool Social tab. They've got it all. So shout out DraftKings. We love DraftKings.
Yeah, shout out DraftKings using it all today and for the rest of the playoffs and obviously upcoming UFC fights. PFL has it all. I got involved with a little daily fantasy today. The pick 6.
Oh yeah, how'd that go?
My daily fantasy. I needed Erceg to do better than he did, but it was
Gotcha.
It was fun though.
You guys were definitely right about Jose Aldo. I thought ring rust was going to be a factor. Not a factor in the slightest. It was like he never left.
What his speed was just phenomenal. I thought Jonathan Martinez kind of got it going in that third, but still, Aldo. I wish he went for the finish. I think he could have got it, but I understood what he was going for. He just secured the victory, and he's back.
Was it
man.
Felder that said it looked like a mercy takedown?
Mercy takedown. That was
He was right about that. The way Aldo threw him down is just disrespectful.
So, but yeah, great performance by Aldo. I'm interested to hear who you guys think he should fight next.
If they can make the Cruz fight happen, it's that, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think the fans like to see it. I'd like to see it. I mean, that was just like a vintage Aldo performance. He looked great. No, you guys said. I mean, his speed was incredible. I mean, that was the thing where I think like I remember me and Jack went talking about earlier in the week. And obviously, we talked about it in the show too, where I mean, just obviously not to like belittle Martinez's run. I do think there was levels to like some of the competition they had faced. Over obviously, Aldo had the long layoff, obviously, but I think just even the guys he had fought like leading up to his retirement, like we talked like Marab, like had beaten some like really like elite guys still, and Martinez like was kind of living off like the Giannis performance. He was good, but just not I think on the same level of the guys that Aldo's fought for the last. I mean, basically like 15 years. But he was unbelievable. It was great to see him get the reception in Rio. Although we haven't talked about that either. I mean, another kind of letdown. What's going on in Brazil, man?
Dud.
What is
from
going
the
on
crowd?
They don't.
A dud.
They just don't show up for fights. It's
No,
crazy. They shouldn't go back. Why would they go back again?
I don't know, man. It was empty
I'm in
for
the
the main
mud
event.
with Brazil right now.
You are, because you tweeted that.
Yeah, and I'm getting a lot of.
Dude, I had Jose Youngs from MMA fighting in the office recently, like this week. He warned me about the Madonna concert. He was like, I'm serious. The word in Brazil is that everyone's going to the Madonna concert because it's free and it's on the beach, and nobody's going to 301. And I was like, come on. And then tonight it's like, oh, everyone's at Madonna.
These crackers got to stop speaking on foreign shit in general. Here's one translated from Portuguese.
Yep.
Madonna show, horrible card without Charles Poton. Event ending at 2 a.m. Expensive as hell tickets. Go fuck yourself. That's from. Oh, and here's another one. Here's a lot of people call me a gringo.
Yep, I could see that.
Yeah, walking in Rio in this time is not a joke, son. The street in the early hours of the morning is not an amusement park. TNC of these foreigners. I don't know what TNC stands for, but probably nothing good.
Probably not something nice about you. Yeah, no, it's a shame that all of those are factors, but Brazil definitely used to be like a premier location for UFC to go and have insane crowds. In the last 2 times, it's been super disappointing. So, yeah, I don't know. Man, this card didn't have like the biggest name value. Is it different if it's headlined by Poetan? I don't know. I don't know. Probably a little.
I mean, they had a Brazilian champion. They had Jose Aldo. I get it, but I also am like, come on. Also, this stadium's not that big. We're not talking 50,000 people. That stadium looks like it seats 10,000 people. That's like a college basketball arena. And I think we all agree there. Someone suggested in the chat that maybe Henry Cejudo against Aldo.
Is Cejudo he's sticking around after all that?
Yeah, I think so. I think he fake retired.
Give me Figgy. Give me Figgy versus Aldo next. Brazil versus Brazil. That number 6 versus probably like a number 8. And if Aldo's serious about going for another title run, I think Figgy's probably the best style matchup, and I think Figgy would accept that fight too against a legend like Aldo.
You see,
that'd be a good fight.
I was like, Cheeto asked for it. Cheeto said run that back. He lost to him a couple of years ago. Run that fight. I think that would be interesting as well. I know.
What's Cheeto ranked now? Is he still like 7 or something?
Cheeto, he's got to be probably like 6.
4.
4? Then yeah. I mean, Aldo would probably love that. Yeah,
because they were talking about even like Cheeto. I know Cheeto was asking for like him versus Jan, which would be a great like in like New York or something like later in the year. But yeah, I mean, I think any of the. I mean, really, you beat Martinez like that, like pretty handily. I mean, he could definitely. Anyone in the top 10, I think makes sense, honestly.
Speaking of veterans putting together one last title run, Anthony Smith coming for the title.
Yeah.
What happened there? First underdog to win on the night, and pretty easily too. Hit a couple leg kicks, got a quick guillotine. Levels to this. Went over to the commentary. Was like, I'm getting that gold after all.
Yeah. Also, someone asked in the chat about Aldo's contract. I think this was his last fight on his contract, so he needs to get a new one. But I think he'll probably get one.
He'll resign. He is a UFC lifer, I think.
Damn. Actually, speaking of that, they just put up the performance bonuses up. I can't believe Lionheart Smith didn't get one.
Oh wow!
You get you get a gilly inside 3 minutes, and when you're plus like 350 underdog, I think you deserve a bonus.
Yeah, I am the one talking shit on Twitter. I think Brazil is showing up.
Nice, they're showing up for the
This
show.
is me. It's me, brother.
They could show up at Spinning Backface at 2 a.m., but not the car.
Yeah.
But yeah, shout out to Anthony Smith. That was huge.
Huge.
He was the one to bust our parlay, so that stunk. But other than that, it was great.
Lee, who do you give Anthony Smith next, outside of Alex Pereira, of course, and Proton? I mean,
I think this one would. I mean, maybe you go like. I mean, the one that I like rankings wise that would make sense to me after that would be Krylov. I like that'd be 6 versus like a number 9, 10, wherever he goes next.
We haven't seen Krylov, right, in forever.
Yeah,
in a while.
It's been a long time.
Somebody said on Reddit MMA or Reddit or RUFC that he hasn't posted on Instagram either in like over a year. So it's like no one knows where Nikita Krylov
Someone
is.
get a wellness check on him. Knock on this guy's door.
yeah. But guys, this fight for Anthony Smith next doesn't have to make sense, but it kind of does. You have to get him versus his twin. You have to get him versus his twin, Bogdan Guskov. You have to. This is
like in Mortal Kombat when you like both pick the same character, so one has to wear slightly different clothes.
low key, a pretty good fight too. It's like Guskov. I mean, he's won twice now. His first fight was a tough fight, and he's won twice. It's kind of a maybe if he beats Anthony Smith, and you kind of am like, okay, he's a top 15 fighter, and go from there. If Anthony Smith takes care of him, then it's like, okay. I don't know how much
Joey Diaz, like, you want to get nuts, let's get nuts.
Yeah. Rakic, somebody said in the
That's who I was gonna. If they want to really put him far up, it'd be Rakic, or maybe who was I gonna say too? Or so Menefield and Oberg are fighting next week. The winner of that could make sense as well.
We have a bunch of you in here right now. Please like, subscribe, share. We appreciate that. You're staying up with us. 1:30, 2:30 in Brazil. Way too late for Brazil, but no, I'm just kidding. I know that city is very dangerous. That city is very dangerous. Whenever I think of Brazil in athletes, I think of Melo in the favela, and he pulled up in the all red. And he just took a photo outside of I think it was 2012. Maybe that's when those Olympics were out there. But maybe 2014. Some people keep asking if Rio is that bad. Just started earlier. Pay-per-views always start at 10 unless like Abu Dhabi pays
like
$100 million.
Manchester, they're starting at 10 still, which is crazy. I don't know why they wouldn't just make that an afternoon pay-per-view for us.
Making the main event fight at like 6 a.m. local time.
Yeah,
crazy.
So weird. Like WWE did a show in France today, and it started at 1, and like it was fine. I think everyone still watched it. I don't know why the UFC doesn't do that.
See, to me, I think that says that they haven't done as well, like in America, those like day cards.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, also the last one I remember, I think it was the last pay-per-view that London had was
was Edwards?
That England. It was that Usman Leon 3, right? Which was literally in the during the day in the middle of March Madness.
Yeah.
I remember shout out Leon. He bailed me out of a horrible day that day.
Shout out Michel Pereira. He kind of for a couple fights became this like more grounded, more no nonsense fighter, less of a meme fighter. That's what we were talking about the last time we recapped, is when we were like, this guy's not as much of a meme. And then today he fucking gets a quick knockdown and his brain just goes right back to meme. And he just goes right to backflip and he lands an illegal knee in the process. I saw it in the moment. It was the first thing I texted the group chat. I was like, well, that's an illegal knee. So let's hope they don't take that win away from him. And then he fucking chokes this guy out. He got the tap and then still, sent Ihor unconscious. And Ihor was like seasoned afterwards, which was scary. But yeah, this is why we love Michel Pereira. Like, it's nice that he can flip a switch and become more technical and actually win fights and become a threat. But like when he hits that backflip, I was just like, that's like, oh, the band hasn't played this song from their first album in a while, but they broke it out on this concert.
I think that's just the Ihor Peteria effect. Like he was just like, he's like, fuck it, I'm doing it. That sequence ending, whatnot, it reached post MMA Twitter, like people were texting me about it, like they were like, "What the fuck is this?" And I just responded, "Haha, yeah, that guy's insane."
That was one of those fights where I can't believe like all that that was bottled up in 54 seconds. What happened in that fight?
Yeah.
So many things happened in less than
1 minute fight. Yeah.
He really, that's not to disrespect Pretoria, but that was like when you fight Pretoria, like at the level he's at, like you can just start doing backflips and shit and just fuck around. Like this was supposed to be Murdoch. Like it was never supposed to be Pretoria. He's just like, they're just on different levels. I mean, he moved up to 185, 3 first-round finishes. It's top 15 time, fellas. I know Pretoria's not like I understand. Like I think the last 2 guys he fought were better than Pretoria, but I mean, you finish 3 guys like that. I mean, if you go up to weight class, I think he gets a shot here against somebody.
Who would you give him, Lee? Yes.
Like the first name that I put out, like I think in the group chat, was that like he gets like a short notice shot against Roman Dolidze in a month at 3-0. That's like the first thing that comes to mind, because there's not a whole lot of other guys. Like Hermanson has said like he only wants to face guys ahead of him now after beating Pfeiffer, and I don't think he would face 2 unranked guys in a row. But if I'm being honest, for Hermanson, that'd be a perfect stylistic fight against like Michel Pereira. So I would take that fight if I was him. Maybe he gets Fluffy in like a return fight when Fluffy gets healthy. But honestly, I don't think that they're gonna put Borralho against him. So that fight's out of the way. And then like you got like Chris Curtis, who was out for 6 months. So he's in a rough place right now to try to get a ranked fight.
I think Hermanson could be the guy. Hermanson don't have pull to be like, I'm not fighting Michel Pereira.
Yeah.
Like he
doesn't
have that kind of weight to throw around. If they call his cell phone and say Michel Pereira, that's the fight.
That'd be a big fight for Hermanson too.
Yeah, I mean, he's gonna do it. I would think he would. I'd be pretty surprised if he didn't, because they're not exactly just. I don't think they're rushing to give Hermanson like a title eliminator or something. I mean, the fight just makes a lot of sense, and I don't think I would love to see him fight Dolidze. I just don't think he's gonna turn around that fast. Him versus Fluffy would be exciting. I'd be into that. Like very such like different styles. That would definitely entice me. That'd be like a very nice like fight on like open like a pay-per-view main card or something. Definitely be very into that matchup.
And then Caio Borralho beat Paul Craig, kind of like we all expected him to. Like it was one of those never a doubt, faster than him every step of the way. Didn't give in to any of Paul Craig's, hey, why don't we do a little ground shit? He's like, nope, we're not doing that. And he put him out pretty viciously. It was a pretty violent knockout, the way he just dropped him to his knees, and Paul Craig was out for a while. But yeah, he looked as good as the odds suggested he would.
Yeah, he's an interesting cat. It's more so what do you do with him, because you look at what happened today. He did what he had to do. It was phenomenal. I thought he looked fast, but I mean, again, it's Paul Craig. Paul Craig had him in some spots that you would think Paul Craig could potentially get something going, and Chow got out of those. So, I mean, that's something you got to be a little bit positive about. And then he showed him what he showed him, and he said he was going to knock him out. He knocked him out. I don't know how high his ceiling is, but he called out. Who did he call out?
Cannonier.
Yeah. That'd be a huge
step to fight at Louisville, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's fighting Imavov.
And also,
and that's June 8th. So you could, wait for that, wait to see what happens, and put them together after that if you wanted to.
I just don't think they're going to move him. Like Cannonier's top 5. I don't think he's going to get top 5 next.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's looking at basically the same names we just said for Michel Pereira.
Yeah, he probably is.
Like him versus Fluffy would make sense. Him versus Hermanson would make sense. I definitely wouldn't mind seeing him versus Hermanson. I mean, this is what with Paul Craig. The speed, the hand speed difference was just so like It was so clear.
Like
so
from the first moment, you could
like
tell.
you saw just one quick exchange. You're like, oh my god, like it's this like
Yeah.
he's just so much faster and was
Yeah.
landing clean so often.
What do
I
we
don't
do
think
with
Cleveland-
Paul Craig?
I don't know, man. I was thinking about that. Like he was, he's still ranked. I don't know if he will be after this. He was 13, I think, going into this. He's lost 4 out of his last 5.
Because no one's falling for that fucking triangle shit anymore. They're over.
Yeah.
If you remember that Ozdemir fight, Ozdemir like he played out the blueprint. Like just don't go, just don't go on the floor with him, and you just won't lose to him. His striking is just not good. If you just don't like fall in his trap, you will beat him.
Yeah. Was that Ozdemir fight? Johnny Walker beat him. He beat Andre Muniz and then Brendan Allen in this fight.
What about? Ooh, go Jack.
All right, we're gonna look at Paul Craig. He'll go down as somebody that beat 2 UFC champions. I mean, I guess Ankalaev is a guy that's like more. So I'm just predicting that he'll eventually hold the belt at some point. If not, he beat 1 UFC champion and 1 guy that's fought for the belt and whatnot. It's crazy. But I guess he's one of the last of the one-trick ponies that really worked, and I guess that's because of his size. He's huge, and he came down. It just didn't really work. But what were you gonna say, Lee?
So 2 options came to mind for me. Both like I feel like this is like okay. Save him for Bo Nickel for like in 2.
Oh man, yeah.
That's the easy.
That's like when they gave like Hamzat GM3. It was just like, oh, but we like this guy, man.
I kind of.
Oh, go Jack.
Do you think the UFC would even take that shot? Like, what happens if Paul Craig just like gets Bo in a spot he just doesn't know how to get out of?
I don't know. I think.
If you think about it, like if we just talked about how like just don't play that game. I mean, Bo Nickel like wants to play that game.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So
he wants to get him down.
Would be kind of interesting. The more of like, I was kind of when letting it sit in for a second. I was like, you know what? Like I was like, yeah, like maybe they could do something like that. It really is stunning. Just even looking at now that Paul Craig currently has 3 wins inside the top 6 at light heavyweight. Truly stunning.
Yeah.
Stunning. What a career! Just such a wild career. Yeah.
And then the only other finish on the rest of the card, I'm pretty sure, was the Joe Anderson Bruin. Oh no, Ruffy, of course.
Ruffy.
And Costa to open the card. So forget what I just said. But Joe Anderson Brito beat Jack Shore via horrendous bullet hole in Jack Shore's leg. He fucking kicked a hole into his leg. And then the doctor finger fucking. What was the doctor doing? Was that medical practice to just fucking start poking it?
Dude, he was trying to scream. I think he squeezed some shit out of there. There was shit.
That was
flying
weird,
out of that
dude. Because they were talking about it, and who was one of the commentators was describing it to DC because DC wasn't watching or something. He's like, he didn't want to look, and then they were pushing it. Yeah, that was fucked up. I was completely good with the stoppage, and then even more okay with it when John Anik said on commentary they thought he broke his leg. So like, I think they were at the level where they were like, oh yeah, if he keeps fighting, he could like McGregor himself, where he has a hairline fracture and then he's going to snap his leg. I never want to see that in the octagon. So good stoppage.
The moment that I'll remember it for is right before they stopped it. And I almost think they stopped it because they were right up against the cage. And I think his shin was up against it, like the fence. And the entire commentary crew just went at once, oh my God. And then I think the ref heard it and was like, whoa, we need to stop this. Because I remember my head was down and I was looking at my phone because they were kind of up in like a clinch. And then I heard them react. I was like, what happened?
They were horrified when they saw it.
And then the ref was like, whoa. It was I've never really heard the commentary crew like that. And also another moment that was very special, we saw from Bruce Buffer. He said it's
with
still
Anthony Smith.
undefeated Vitor Petrino.
Anthony Smith turning around was so funny.
Yeah.
Fuck, bro. Like,
Yeah.
even when I win, I lose. This is crazy.
And then it's just so embarrassing if you're Petrino and you hear that, like,
Oh.
no, that you
This
could have been undefeated if
This
you.
is what it would have sounded like if you had won.
Yeah. Then the Ruffy finish. Ruffy looked great against Jamie Malarkey. Pretty flawless debut. Malarkey might be.
They wanted I forget who the ref was in that fight. They wanted Malarkey to die.
Yeah.
When he went to the ground and was in La La Land the first time, like it should have been stopped right there. He ate like 4 or 5 nuclear missiles that he did not deserve.
Nuclear.
Like just literally just teeing off on his face like it was like a dummy in the gym, like a heavy bag.
Ruffy.
I mean, also Dean Thomas coming on and be like, he looks like a young Conor McGregor. I was like,
Yeah.
don't like he looks good in the fight. Like, don't do that to him because now everyone's gonna be like, oh, like start like just there. You're like hurting him. Like, why you like that was crazy.
I was tweeting from the Spinning Backfist account. I was like, there's no way Dean Thomas just compared Ruffy to Conor McGregor. And then right as I was about to hit send, Ruffy knocked him out. And I was like, I'm not going to tweet it now. But
maybe it's McGregor.
When he said that, I was like, oh my God. I mean, I still think that was a pretty good win for him. I know Malarkey's kind of washed, but he's not incompetent. He started from the get-go. That scissor kick like takedown was pretty cool. He's an interesting cat. He may be somebody that we get a very inflated line on eventually, but we'll see. I'm interested to see. Okay, Richard Shore claiming ref said leg was fractured, but after X-ray, nothing, just stitches for Jack Shore. I honestly, for Jack Shore, I honestly think he needs to go back down. His speed looked pretty good. I honestly thought he had some moments, and I thought the tide was kind of shifting a little bit. I know it's tough to say with the leg kicks, but I thought he was kind of. I had Brito, and I was like, like Shore may be coming on, but obviously they stopped the fight. But Shore, go back down. What his body is like, he can go back down.
So did you see what Richard Shore tweeted on May 3rd about the weigh-ins? This kind of flew under the radar. I thought he was like, oh, okay, no, I think he's fucking with people. No, he is fucking.
Oh no, he does this every time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
I saw that tweet and I was like, what? Like that can't be true, right? He said that Jack they didn't send the contract in well, so they thought it was at a different weight class, and he drank Coke to get up in weight a minute. And I was like, "There's no way that can be true," and it went underreported because the Gomez fight obviously got canceled because of that.
That's apparently he did he was throwing up the entire time because he was cutting weight using Brazilian tap water ice cubes.
What?
Gomez is like entire thing. I get it. Weight cutting is really tough. It was just so French. It was like, what just happened? He came onto the Lee. You pointed it out. He weighed in with a wet shirt on.
Yeah.
I mean, he might have weighed one. He might have really weighed 140.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, coming 143 with a wet T-shirt and shorts.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it was just one of the more confusing things I've ever seen. Just being looking so awful, but being so much underweight. That's what I was like. He has to be just insanely sick. But then he looked weight cut stiff. Like the way he was his body was moving. Like he looked like he had just had a brutal cut. So it was what's going on?
Yeah.
I mean, the second he stepped on the scale, I was like, this fight's gonna get canceled.
Yeah.
This guy can't even walk. He had to get helped off the stage by two
That was
security guys.
It was a bad
I
look.
was like, they're not going to have this guy fight. Like, he looks crazy on the. He literally couldn't even when he stepped off the scale, and he couldn't even step back on to take a photo.
Yeah.
Like when you cannot step back on
to
take a
stand
photo.
still.
Yeah, like
You literally can't
this guy
stand
can't
still.
Fight tomorrow. That's crazy.
What are the other fights that you guys want to talk about here? We had the Kovalevich fight, and Costa finish was good. Yeah,
Costa looked good.
Dude, I think Costa's like good. Like actually, maybe like really good.
Yeah, I was impressed by Costa, and I think Borjas is still pretty good. Like he's not a bad fighter, but I thought Costa looked good, and even how Costa looked against Erceg looking back, it's like he held his own. He's a good fighter, and yeah.
Also,
sorry, they just started a countdown on ESPN. I had to get it off my TV.
I mean the Mertek Brenner fight. I mean, dude, Brenner's got some zombie too. Even though Mertek, I don't know how. I mean, if he just stays on the feet, he knocks him out.
Yes.
Yeah. He for some reason was hurting him so badly, and just was obsessed with grappling and wrestling. Obsessed with it.
Shout out Brenner for the weirdest video of the year as well. His weight cutting video, very bizarre. Very bizarre.
Dude, I swear to God, I saw a bunch of comments saying it. I thought the first time I watched the video, I kind of watched it like I didn't like fully click on it, just like on the timeline, just like gave it a quick like watch and like scrolled past. I really thought that that Charles Oliveira was a dog. I thought he was holding a small puppy. I'm dead serious.
A lot of people said I thought he was a teddy bear in my replies. They said I thought he was holding a teddy bear, and then when you realize it's Charles Oliveira,
I thought he was holding like a little Shih Tzu, just like on it, like in his like or something. And I'm like,
in the friggin' little mini personal sauna with him. Just bizarre. Like respect for Shootbox. Get in the foxhole with your teammates. Start sweating with them. Respect. Don't put the video out. Keep it to yourself.
It's brotherhood. It's brotherhood.
They love those. The Shootbox. They've always put out like the weight cutting for Shootbox is always like this spiritual experience because there's like photos.
They do the mummies, right?
Yeah, of like Charles, like before I think the Islam fight. Like it's just like they're all surrounding him. And it's like the most dramatic photo ever. And I get it. It's like weight cutting's like really, really difficult, especially for those guys, but it's a very funny visual.
I can't wait until Ian Gary does that. And it's gonna get so hard.
Ian Gary, they show Ian Gary and his wife. I don't think they're negative pop.
Bro, nobody got a pop.
Nobody, you know why?
Barely got a pop.
I don't think they have a jumbo
screen for them to see it.
Oh,
yeah,
they have to have one. They have to have a screen somewhere.
They showed
him his Hall of Fame thing and everything, and people like barely reacted. I was like, "Fuck!"
No, Jack, they did it, but they were like DC was having like look at your work, like so they had something like a monitor to look up at.
That is true.
I think they might have him like in the corners or something, like screens in the corners, not a main jumbotron.
Yeah, it's in like 20 pixels. Like it's just. They did a screen.
Johnny
They
Drama
did have
said
a
they
screen.
did have a screen.
All right. I apologize. I apologize. I was trying to give the Brazil fans a little bit of a break that there was no screen in there.
Any other performances? Bonfim, Barbosa. Close with that fucking weird. He tried to like. I'm not gonna lie. I've thought about that before. I've thought about that very like, but I've also thought about it. And someone tried this last year. If someone has you backpacked, I've thought like, can you move like this and then try to almost like hit a roll to force their face into the canvas? He tried to do it the opposite way.
It was Usman. Usman did it against Hamzat.
Yes.
The one you're saying that's the one you're referring to, I believe.
So this was
Yeah.
like the flip version of that, where it was like a guillotine version, but like, did it work? No. Did I respect the effort? Yeah. Like just to be like, what would happen if you tried that? I guess
He
that
really like the force he threw was legit.
threw himself. That's the sort of thing you can't really practice in the gym either, because like if you're successful, you're just knocking your teammate out and like taking his teeth out.
Somebody did say in the replies, if that knocked him out, it's the greatest knockout in the history.
It'd be so awesome.
Well, you want to know what that is? He had a slam. He had a head slam knockout his last fight. I think if that doesn't happen, he's saying fuck it, heat check.
He's falling in. It's like when people fall in love with their hands. He's falling in love with his slam knockouts.
He's like, I got one more in me. Dude. Yeah, I mean, and also it like sort of worked. Like he was able to like kind of get out of it after and like scramble out.
Yeah.
So I guess one could argue that it worked.
I just like seeing, I like seeing people try crazy shit like that.
That was unreal. Dude, Joaquim Silva, he hits like a truck though.
Yeah.
I thought that knockdown in the third round, I thought Close was fucked.
Yeah.
He was hurt really bad there for a second.
Ballsley said it's gonna work one day.
Yeah. How far do you think Miktabik? I think I'm saying his name wrong because they were actually pronouncing it right on the Maktabak or what Orabai. How far do you think he can go? Top 10, top 5?
I don't know if I would say
based
top
on
five
that
yet.
performance, I would say 10. But
Yeah.
I could 100% see him making like changes and being very good. I think the move 55 is going to help him 100% there. But his pace was really good tonight. He just like that's his second fight in the UFC. Like he's going to get better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like his post-fight hat.
The best.
Great hat.
Yeah.
His buddy, or I don't know if it's a buddy, is his like a teammate wears it in the corner during the fight as well.
Yeah.
So it's cool.
He had the post-fight hat, and then everyone, the shootbox guys.
He's my new favorite. I think he's one of my new favorite guys. Like Big F has a lot of guys. Like I think Orabai. I'm all in on Orabai. Ever since I went to war with Kyrgyzstan or wherever he's
his
from,
whole country. Yeah,
his whole country came at me. Now I'm at war with Brazil, but at Orabai forever. Like this guy, there was a funny moment. I think Brenner kind of had like a choke in, and DC and Felder were almost asking each other, like, do you think this guy actually ever is concerned about getting guillotined or choked
yeah.
out? Which I mean, obviously he is, but he looks like a guy. It's just like you can't choke him to sleep. You just can't.
He has all. I mean, he has like all the tools. Like he has cardio. Like he can grapple. He hits hard. Like I said, he had Brenner hurt numerous times. And at the very end of the fight, he almost knocked him out. If he had just stayed on the feet, like I said, he stays on the feet, he knocks him out. I think inside 2 rounds.
Agreed.
So I think that was more just like a fight IQ thing. I think like it's like he just know like cardio, grapple. But I mean, he just had such a clear like power advantage on the feet.
My dog's having a bad dream next to me right now.
Hang in there, pup.
Oh my God, yeah.
Oh wow. He's like, no.
Probably dreaming of that parlay hitting.
No, I mean, she's thinking of Erceg shooting a takedown around. Like, what are you doing, bro?
1 round.
No, she was visualizing when Anthony Smith put the guillotine in. He's like, no.
Anything else that we're forgetting to go over from 301?
Pretty good
that
card.
Was pretty much it.
Derek Lewis main event next week.
Yep. That's a live crowd too, right?
St.
Where's
Louis.
that again? That's the St. Louis card. Yeah, that's right. With Buckley and yeah. All right, that'll be fun. Canelo, that's right. He won as well. Also, did you see his team got large, the custom jumpsuits that match them?
Dude,
they love it.
2 of them.
He got it tatted on him.
2 of them. They're fire too. One of them's like Carolina blue. It is awesome. Shout out large, part of the Canelo team. and obviously Canelo. Another win for Canelo. Dropped the guy in round 4, first time the guy's ever been dropped in his career. Looked like a pretty good fight, to be honest.
What did he win? What was it, a KO?
Nah, unanimous
No.
decision.
Uh,
Big on. Apparently, it was a banger. I would say I didn't watch it either. I just saw some like highlights and stuff. A big knockdown.
The crowd seemed electric. The clip where he knocks him down, he like hits him with a great shot before the knockdown, and it's the classic boxing thing where everyone stands. It was really cool.
It was a big, just a clean uppercut. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
just like, ooh, and he was down bad, but everyone said it was very like the guy like even like won a few like later rounds after getting knocked out. It was very competitive.
John
I'd love
Jones
to see
has
him
a
fight
fight.
Biffle again.
Just about to say that.
John
Jones has
Jones?
a fight. He says he claims.
Huh.
Verbal agreement. So take that.
Let's can we talk about how he's this man is legitimately will fight anyone but Tom Aspinall.
He's ducking out.
Literally anyone. He's like, no, I'll take Pereira, the guy who can't grapple. Like, give me that guy.
Yeah.
Moving up 2 weight classes now. Like I'm like this guy just he knows. We know why. We all know why. And if you don't know why, you should know why. Because Tom Aspinall takes his head off.
Yeah.
He really
He's ducking Aspinall, he is.
Let's go, Johnny Drama. It's the facts. He knows he doesn't want that fight. He's like, oh, Pereira's a bigger fight. Like, Pereira's a bigger name, sure. But if you're like, this guy, he has the interim belt. Like,
Oh,
how
yeah,
can you
Johnny
pass it
Drama
up?
pointed this out, but we are on Aspinall's latest YouTube video. Everyone go check out Tom Aspinall's got a YouTube channel, great vlogs and stuff. And he included his visit to Barstool and his FaceTime to Ev. So we're all in the vlog. It's pretty cool.
Also,
check it out now.
I think I'm going to start doing something that I watched a video he did. It was like, I think they posted it kind of recently, but it was from the 295 card. But on his, like in his hotel room, on like little notepads, he just writes like winner next to it. So the first thing he sees when he wakes up is winner. I think I'm going to start doing that.
Nice.
I need a winner mentality.
like that.
I need to
Winner. Yeah.
just attack the day. Like just the first thing I see when I open my eyes, just winner.
Boom.
You're a
Hits you
winner.
right in the face. You're a winner.
I love that.
I like that.
It was
All
one
right.
winner. He had another one that said something like similar that just like
Champion
everybody
or something?
sees it. Yeah, I think something like that. It was winner next to his bed, and there was like another one on the other nightstand that said like something else.
Thank you to everyone for tuning in late for the 301 recap. We'll be back next week to break down the St. Louis card. We'll give you some picks for that. We'll try to put together maybe another parlay or something like that. We'll see. We'll come back next week. Thank you, DraftKings, for sponsoring the show. Thank you, Jack, Ev,